Howdy y'all, FiremanRabbit here. We're going to be doing a tutorial today on Rust turret pods post turret nerf. Let's get right into it. So to begin, we're going to place a low square foundation, 2 high triangles, 1 low. We're going to do our 2 door frames and top square. Make sure to do this part first before completing the rest of it, otherwise you won't be able to. Place a wall right there, a doorway, and then place a triangle right there. Then we come over to here, do a roof there, and a roof there. All right, so we got our basic layout done. Next, we're gonna place our door. If you don't have armored doors, just use whatever doors you prefer. It can be double, single. I prefer the single, and I'll show you why in a bit. Then we go to place our TC. You will see there's a gap. That's because of the roof. Place our battery next. This leaves you ample room to move around. You've got all this room to place things for electrical that you're gonna need, and trust me, it's gonna be a lot. Now this next part might be a little tricky. Placing these door frames. If you go up, sometimes you can't place them. So make sure that you always staying down. This next one's a real pain to do. You have to get this little angle right here and place it. Then obviously you can place it as high as you want. Usually 4, maybe 5. I wouldn't go any higher than that. Alright, then we grab our windmill, place our windmill down, and we're gonna wire it right away to the battery. Alright, so now we got our battery charging. As you can see, it's going up pretty quick. Getting pretty good wind on it at that height. It ain't gonna be perfect, but you're also not gonna be fully loading this battery, so you'll still have room to work. Alright, once you get that, let's place our turrets. Alright, so this one's optional, but if you want, you could place a turret here. And then you're gonna have 1 turret there. 1 turret in here, and then same on this side, 1 turret right here. With this angled roof, it's really hard to get a direct hit, and if they do try to splash, it'll take a bunch more HVs to actually hit it. Alright, now for the wiring. So, we're gonna need a few different things. We're also gonna need a splitter. Alright, so this is why I recommend a single door instead of a double, because you can place things here and keep it all nice and organized. Again, that's all preference. You can do whatever feels best for you. Alright, so at the bottom, we got our switch. If you want to put that turret right outside this front door and have it always on, place an electrical branch there. We're going to wire our switch. Ooh, that was ugly. Much better. Alright, then from the power out, you'll go to the input of the splitter. And then if you want, you could wire this turret right away. Maximum protection. Get it set up at 10, flip that on, boom. You are now slightly protected. At least no one's going to come in and try to steal or destroy your TC. Once you do that, this is where the fun begins. So we're going to need our AND switches. If you haven't seen this tutorial on how to set up this circuit, feel free to check it out. There's going to be a pin card at the top right here showing that. And then all we're going to need is 6 electrical branches. So the power out is going to go to the first one for each series. First electrical branch of each series, power out from the splitter. Alright, so now all of these are wired. Our power out is going to go to input B for each one. And then we'll wait to work on our branch out. Our power out from the AND switch goes down. And then we set our auto turret amounts to 10, and then we wire. Now, you have to make sure that you know where you're wiring. So I always do the right side is far, left side close, middle is middle. That's just how I do it. Whatever way works best for you, that's how I recommend doing it. But again, this is all dealer's choice. You guys can choose what way you would prefer. Little hiccup there. Didn't mean to go into the entity. Alright. So we've got all those wired. Now we're going to wire a heartbeat sensor because our AND switch does not work without a secondary input source. So an AND switch, you need two input sources. One is coming from this electrical branch. The other one's going to come from the branch out to a heartbeat sensor. Once it senses someone, it sends the other power activation signal, and our turrets get power. So let's go set these up real quick. And please always make sure to close your doors. So you only need 3 heartbeat sensors for this. I like lining them up. Getting a nice even distance between them. Doesn't have to be anything perfect. Alright. Now our power in. Remember, this is far, so we're going right. Goes to the branch out. And then our input is the output of this. And voila, this turret's going to turn on. Because it is sensing that I'm here. I'm authorized on this turret, so it's obviously not going to shoot at me. And then you just rinse and repeat. So we'll get all these done really quick. Always making sure that we're putting the correct one in the correct area so the right turret turns on. If you don't, the correct turret will not turn on and you'll experience issues. Because if I'm here, I want this turret to turn on. If I'm not here, I don't want this turret to turn on. And what's nice about only having one active turret is you can space these a lot closer together as long as you are out of the 40-meter reach for your base, because that way it won't interfere with your main compound ones. Now, by any account, if it gets to the point where these are breached and they're in your compound, it's not going to really matter the distance that these are at because they're not going to be interfering. But that's the basic tutorial. This is a play on a version of a sealed one. There are many different ways to do this. This is just the go-to that I have. It works really well if people are trying to in-send and stuff. It makes it really difficult with these slanted roofs. And you always have the option to, if you would like, put prison cell walls, prison cell gates. I always prefer the chain link. To me, that's the best one. So you can just plop that on there. You got a little bit more protection. They can't shoot that one out. Obviously, once I'm out of range of the heartbeat sensor, it's off. And the only active one, if you choose, is right here. You don't have to do it. You can always just bypass that instead of having that. And instead of having this power out, you can just go power out directly to that. And then you have more room. If you'd like, you could add more turrets. It's all based on preference. You only have a certain amount of power extra when these are on, so it's all based on preference. You only got 29 from this switch to here, and then there's power in there. So you could really only fit 2 more per, but again, that's all based on preference. You can choose how you want to use this. This is the basic turret pod, though. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. We're almost at 10,000 views for the channel already, and it's not even been a month. Thank you guys so much for the support. I'll keep putting videos like this out. You guys keep implementing these in your bases. Send me some feedback. Let me know how it is. I try to reply to every single comment on YouTube. I read all of them. Thank you guys. Much love. FiremanRabbit out.